What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we are creating the Liberty Flames. This was a request by quite a few people ever since the Coastal Carolina video, and I'm not going to lie, this is probably my favorite creation to date. Everything really pops, especially once you get on the field, the uniforms and the stadium. Everything looks really good, and I can't wait to show you. So let's get right into it. Now, in real life, their primary colors are red and blue, but I went with red and white. The biggest reason was because of the end zone. I wanted to make sure that was accurate as possible, but trust me, there's plenty of blue coming. But let's start off at the very top with primary color, and I just went down here to the far right red and edited that one. And the RGB is 196, 18, and 48. And for the secondary color, I just went to the very top left and picked that white. Logo, this was one of the few things that it's just really hard to nail down. If you look at the actual logo, you got like a white eagle with an L and a U, and that's just impossible to create in this game. So I just went with a basic L. I've looked for an existing logo in here that was kind of close, and I wasn't very happy with any of the bird-like logos and the generic side of things, nor was there any actual NCAA logo that was even close. So I just went with a basic L. At least I got 1/3 of it correct. Unfortunately, you can't put two letters together to make an L and a U, but that's okay. You can do whatever you want, but for me, I just went with the basic L, and I think it came out okay. Now, nickname, the Flames. School name, Liberty. Abbreviated name, I went with LU only because you're only allowed to have 6 letters for the abbreviated name, and yet Liberty's got 7 letters, so I just went with LU. City is Lynchburg in the state or Commonwealth to the Virginia folk of Virginia. You go here, and technically where the default location is really close to Lynchburg. Lynchburg is more like something right here. Playbook, this doesn't matter. I just went with Florida because it's a spread playbook, and that's what Hugh Freeze does mainly. And like I said, if you're going to create this team and you're going to do a dynasty with them, you're going to use your own playbook anyways. Team type, middle of the road. Again, I was going to just stick it at middle of the road for all of these, and you can change it however you wish. And one thing to keep in mind, is somebody reminded me of this, is just because middle of the road says B across the board doesn't mean it's a solid B team. It's actually more like a C team. You just kind of have to play around the rosters and notice that when you're diving into some of this stuff. So you may have to fool around with some of these if you want to get like really close to what Liberty is like, just in terms of ratings and such. Rival school. Now, Liberty is an independent school, and they are new to the FBS scene. And they really don't have a rival. So what I had to do is I went back to the last 3 schedules of the last 3 seasons, and UMass was the only team on all 3 schedules. So I just went with them as a rival. Of course, you could pick whatever. You know, if you ran a dynasty with them and you got up and you want to get into the ACC and such later down the road, you could change it to Virginia or Virginia Tech or whatever. You know, it's up to you however you want to do it. Fight song, I didn't look too hard into this. I listened to the actual fight song, and the closest one that I found was BYU, but by all means, change if you could find something better. Now, when it comes to their mascot, I could not find anything remotely close to what their actual mascot looked like. And besides, most of these mascots have the existing jerseys on, and you can't find anything close to what we're looking for. So I just went with none. And besides, the only time you see a mascot in this game is like maybe one cut scene per game, if that. So it's not a big deal if you can't find a mascot. Now let's talk about the stadium. It is Williams Stadium. They actually seat 24,000, but I just went with 20 because as of now, it's still like a dual-sided stadium. So that's what I went with. You can go the other one where it's like 30,000. It's the same one as we've done with like Georgia State. But I just went with 20,000 here, and that was fine by me just because it's literally just dual sides as of now, last time I checked it. Orientation, they are technically north and south. It's more like northeast, southeast, but I went with north and south. I went ahead and put the scoreboard and video screen on the north end zone according to that screenshot. And they have one big press box on the west side. Field surface, I actually looked it up, and it did say field turf, but I went with grassy turf. I think it just pops a little bit, so that's about as close as we can get to that. Midfield logo, I just went with our school logo. None. Yeah, I did not put anything on the 25-yard line for either spot. End zone. This is the reason why I went with white as my secondary color, is I wanted to get the end zones more accurate. And the end zones are red with white lettering, and one end zone says Liberty, the other one says Flames. You can't do that in this game. So you can pick which one you want. You can either have it say Liberty or Flames. I just went with Liberty. And the end zone background, like I said, at red. No track, and I wanted the backdrop of the campus. They're right in the heart of the campus. So that seemed like the best fit. Now let's get into the uniforms. This is going to be pretty interesting. You go down to the very bottom, you get a nice view of the default. Now let's talk about these uniforms. Liberty, they're like all these other schools we've done so far, they're pretty new in their football program and with very little tradition, and they got a ton of uniform options. They have red helmets, white helmets, blue helmets, jerseys, red, white, and blue, pants, red, white, and blue, shoes, red, white, and blue. So you can go which way you want. I had to pick 4, obviously, because that's what our options are in this game. But hopefully you'll like the ones I have set up, and then you can mix and match however you want to after that. So let's go up to the very top. We have a red helmet with, of course, we got the logo. And I'm using the single stripe logo because there's no plain / logo option. So I went single stripe logo, the helmet color of red, and the helmet stripe 1 of red. And it should match exactly whatever the picture I have shown up right there. And the face mask, of course, is red. They don't do any pride stickers. Jersey type is triple sleeve across the board. These came out really well. You got the white stripes on the outside with the red on the inside. But your jersey color is blue. Your sleeve stripe 1 is red, and sleeve stripe 2 is white. You got your shoulder numbers on the top. Style number. Again, they have a modern font to their numbers and names. I went with style number 5, and it actually came out pretty good, and you'll see here in a little bit. Number name white. Outline color, we wanted a black just so it just pops out a little bit better, and we don't have any rendering issues. Chest logo. The only ones I saw was the Nike logo, and you can't put that on here. So I just went with none. If you wanted to, you could do it something like that, but I just think it looks kind of goofy. And it's not technically accurate because they don't have their actual logo on their chest. Player names, of course, we want on. Pants style, triple stripe. Now, this was another interesting option that they had. We can't really create this. They got 2 stripes. It's like blue on the right and white on the left. We can't really recreate that. So what I done, I just went with the triple stripe. And, of course, we got pants color of red, but I went with the pants stripe 1 of blue and the pants stripe 2 of white. I think it looks really good. Hip logo, I couldn't find one, so I went with none. Belt color, from what I could tell, they have a blue belt. Some of the players use a belt, some others don't. But the ones that I did see, I noticed they went with the blue belt with those red pants. Sock style, again, players like to go long, short, medium, just however they want. But I kept seeing a white sock with this entire uniform look and the shoe color of red. Okay, so I think the default home uniform looks really cool, and it's going to look even better once you get out in the field. Away uniform. Really no different than what was on the home, except it's all white for the jersey and the pants. Of course, your helmet, it stays the same with red. The stripe is red. The face mask color is red. And then you get to the jersey, it's just a white jersey. And the only change really is the stripes. The first one is red and the second one is blue. Shoulder sleeve numbers, that stays the same. Style number stays the same. They're not like Georgia State or Coastal Carolina where they had different fonts depending on the jersey. They use the same font throughout. Number and name is red. Outline color is black. Chest logo, none. Player name on. Triple stripe. Again, this was a similar situation. I think they had a blue stripe on one side and red on the other. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the away uniforms. I don't have the image in front of me, but I think this one was actually more accurate. I think they actually had a 3-stripe look of red and blue. I could be dead wrong on that, though. Again, I don't have that in front of me. White pants. Then you got, there's your 2 colors of blue and then red for your 2 stripes. No hip logo. Belt color, from what I could tell, was red. Socks, I kept it short with a white color and the shoe color of red. Now let's get to the alternate. Here's where you can get, even more funky with things. We're going to go all red. So the only difference is, let's see, if you go back to home, if I'm not mistaken, yes, the only difference is the jersey. The helmet stays the same as the first two options we had. We can go up to the very top. All that stays the same, triple sleeve. This time, the stripes change a little bit. I have the stripe at blue, one, and the second one at white. Shoulder numbers stay the same. Number, all that stuff stays exactly the same. But we have a red uniform, a red jersey. And then the pants stays the same as the original home. Except this time, I think, again, I don't have it in front of me, I think we got a blue stripe on one side and white on the other, but I went with the triple stripe, and I think it comes out just fine. No hip logo, belt color of blue. I kept the socks short. This time I went all red. I noticed a couple players just went all red from top to bottom, and I think it really pops. Now let's go to the second one. This one I really like. This was the uniform they used when they upset Virginia Tech. And I think it really looks great. So this is a good example of using a different colored helmet. So we kept the same helmet style, but the helmet color, stripe, and face mask color are all blue. No pride stickers. Of course, we're doing triple sleeve. This time we got the red in the middle with the blue on the outsides. And of course, the jersey color is white. Shoulder sleeves on top. Number style the same. The number in the name is red with the black outline. Chest logo, of course, none. Player name on. And pant style, triple stripe again. Again, I don't know if it was just the two stripe or the three, but we went triple across the board. And I went with a red stripe down the middle with a white stripes on the outside. And, of course, we got pants color of blue. And I could not find what color belt they wore for that particular game. Either players were using a blue one, I guess, or they weren't using one at all. Maybe they have options to pick which ones. I'm not quite sure, but I went with blue. No hip logo. Belt color, again, is blue. Sock style, I went with short, of course. And then for this one, I went with white socks and white shoes. Again, you can change this up because players, I think, get to kind of pick what colors they want for their socks and shoes. Okay, so those are the four main uniforms. And here we have the default home uniform. Look how great the colors come out. I mean, the blue and the red, they just contrast each other so well. I really like the jersey numbers or the font of it. I think the numbers look a little bit bigger, and I think they just came out well, and it's pretty close to what Liberty uses. But the helmet looks great. But the blue jersey with the red pants, I mean, all of that looks great. I think the stripes really set everything off. So I like how Liberty used a lot of stripes, both on their pants and on their jerseys. Looks really good. And then you can look at their away default uniforms with the all white, with the red helmet. Again, everything just looks really crisp. I like it a whole lot. Not bad at all. And here we have the alternate home uniform, the all red look. And I can already tell you, this looks incredible. Really pops. I don't know if I've ever ran a dynasty with a team that was all red from top to bottom. I think that looks really crisp. The font on the numbers and the names, or especially on the numbers, look great. And again, these stripes across the board just set everything off. That's just a great look. And then you can go over to the alternate away uniforms. And I'm liking this just as well. This is the Virginia Tech uniforms that they use against the Hokies, and I think that looks incredible. With the red logo on the helmet, it really pops on that blue helmet. Really nice. All right, we can look at the rest of the stadium. You got just a basic logo at midfield. Then you go over to the end zones, and this is the reason why I went with white as my secondary color, because if I was going to use blue as a secondary color, I was not going to be able to get that white lettering. And now I'm able to make that more accurate. Also, it pops a little bit better with having the white border around the logo as well. So it really made a whole lot of sense to use white as your secondary color. But there's the other end zone. And then you can zoom out and then we can look at the rest of the stadium. There is the north end zone with the video screen and scoreboard. There's the east side, just your basic stands, and then you got the south end zone with nothing but the campus backdrop. You can look over to the west side with the big press box. All right, hopefully you enjoyed all this. I am going to put this file, in particular the PSU and the Max file, over to the website on my Google Drive. I'm not going to put that in the store. The first two schools, I was selling them for like a couple bucks each, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to set them as free. And besides, anybody can create this stuff with these videos anyways. So I'm going to move that stuff over to the website, along with I'm going to move pretty much anything that's free in the store. I'm going to move it back over to the drive and simplify everything. So instead of you trying to find what something in particular you're looking for, it's easier if you just go to the game folder itself and get exactly what you need, instead of asking yourself, well, does NCAA 06 have a manual, or does does Al have the playbook database for it? Well, you can go right to that folder and get what you need there. So I'm going to do that over the next couple of days. So again, make sure you check that out. I will move all of those over to the website. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.